Today's project, as you can see, is the Revell Snaptite Max, the Star Wars X-Wing. This is the large one, the 1/29th scale. Pretty excited about this build. I'm having to hold my camera up here because my tripod won't cover it. It's a very large box, as you can see. So let's just look at it and see what we got. Alright, so here we're always taking it out of the box here. Just really excited about how big it is. It should be fun to work on. Obviously this is, they make the more detailed models in the smaller scales. This one, it's going to have its issues with accuracy and whatnot, but it is very large, and I think it gives you a lot of room to work with and do a lot of good things. Now, I would like to light the model. Looks like we have a lot of room to do that. And I'd like to do some lighting techniques. I'd like to repaint it. I'm kind of debating on whether I should keep it like Luke's Red 5 X-Wing, or maybe do a different one, maybe Blue Squadron, or maybe the one off Rogue One. I think it was the Partisan X-Wing. I'm not sure if that one's correct. That had like the black and white paint scheme. Not sure on that yet. I have to kind of take everything out, look at it, and kind of figure out a game plan of exactly which way I want to go with this. You can see that it has a compartment here where you can display the torpedoes or whatever the rockets that go in there. So that's pretty cool. And so anyway, that's where we're at, and I'm going to take all this out of the bags and just kind of figure out where I want to go with this. Okay, so one of the first things I want to address in the build is some cosmetic things, and one of the main ones is these torpedo. Well, it's supposed to be an opening. It's just a solid piece with like a painted on area where the torpedo launchers are supposed to be, and there is a small indentation, and we want to fix that. Now I've already started, and you can see what I'm working on here is what I did is drilled some holes, or start off a small hole, then got bigger until I got to a decent size, and drilled a hole all the way through. Then I took some various files and whatnot and started working out to give it this concave area to where we actually have what looks like a torpedo launching area. Now I did have to put some styrene in here. You have one piece right here that locks in. I didn't want to completely remove that, and I think we've got a way of not having to remove that. But I built it up in the back so it would give us more space to work at, so it wouldn't just be a hole. So that's looking pretty good. Now I'll have a challenge of matching this side with this side, but liking the way that that's coming along. And also working on the engine vents. As you can see, they come just a solid piece, but there is some detailing in there, so that was nice. It gives you some kind of guideline as what it should look like. And I've simply just drilled out the middle, and with again, with starting with a small drill bit and working up to a larger size, and then finding a size to take up most of the room in that. So those are that's the first one. I have 3 more to do on those. So that's where we're at, and let's keep going. All right, so here's our progress. I've still have a little bit more detail, but I've worked in the torpedo launchers on both sides of the lower part of the X-Wing. So it's got a little bit more detailing, and that should be good to go. I've done a little bit of painting here on the cockpit. Did like a reddish brown for the seat, and I've also drilled in some holes for the fiber optics. We've also gone over and started repainted the front part of the cockpit dash, and also drilled in some holes for different fiber optics on that. I went ahead and put in some paint, some black, and then some silver for paint block, or light block, excuse me, for that. And just working on how I'm going to light the engines. Drilled some holes through the upper part, and then right here I've also drilled it out, and also drilled this section out a little bit. So this will close over like that, and then we'll have our light squared up or centered in the middle of it, and then we'll take our engine, and then it'll be like that. So that's a 5mm red LED right there, pre-wired. So and this is just a normal red. It's not going to flicker or anything. It'll just stay on, and we'll show you lit later on. But it's going to come out through here, and this is where about the best thing I can come up with is the wiring's going to come here and go through this hole here, which will be contained. But it's going to have to come out somewhere. There's no place that's I can run it between, so what it's going to do is it's going to actually come in through here from the body. The body will be situated over here to come in through here, and it's going to have a quick loop to go up into the engine nacelle. So we are going to have some exposed wires. This area lacks a lot of detail, so I may just leave the wires there, paint them over, prime it, and I'll just like add a detail, or I might add some styrene to kind of camouflage it. But I may put some more styrene in here also just to camouflage this area because it looks just kind of plain. It's not going to be terrible. Notice it's on the underside of the wing. Now, on one part it might be a little bit more noticeable, but overall I don't think it's going to draw a lot of attention once it's painted and weathered and stuff. It's just going to look like normal wiring and stuff in there. So I'm just not sure how else to do it, the wires would not be exposed. So we got the engine. I'm going to light the engines. I think that's going to look pretty good. And we're going to light, of course, the cockpit. And we have an R2-D2 unit, and I think we're going to be able to put a little light inside him, probably just one or two. And so that's where we're at. And so far, it's still a lot of work to go. So, one last thing is we started repainting Luke Skywalker. I think I am going to do Luke Skywalker's X-Wing, the Red 5, and keep it in that type of configuration. I still have to put some dull coats over him. He's a little bright right now, but I had to repaint him. The orange and plasticky look was just wasn't doing it for me. And this isn't the best figure. He's a little rubbery, so it's a little difficult to get a good paint job on him, at least for me. But we're working on them, and we'll just keep going. Okay, I just want to show you what I'm doing with the wings here. I've attached some of the smaller parts to it. There's not a whole lot of parts to the wing section, but there are these inserts that go inside the wings, and what I've done is I've drilled out some holes and attached these small but pretty powerful magnets on the insides of all four wings. What I noticed with watching other videos of people building this model is sometimes they would close the wings and there would just be an ugly gap in there, and I didn't want to have that if I closed the wings and wanted to have it in like a landing formation. So I've installed those magnets, so now when I close the wings I get a nice solid contact part. It's very secure, and just pull it apart, and so we can have our open attack formation, or we can close it, and you can see just a really nice seal on that. And these are just magnets you can get off Amazon or eBay or some place that, again, they're very small, but quite powerful for their size. The only thing you need to be careful of is make sure that you have the right sides of the magnets facing each other. Obviously you don't want to push them away, you want to attract them, so just be careful when you put in the magnets. So there we are with the wings. Guys, this is working on the lighting for the main engines back here. I have it sealed here. As you can see, I got my red LED connected. It's going to run through here and then through here, and then it's going to come out and it'll run through here and then through the middle, if you can catch all that. And we'll have the 4 different engine lights, and they're all kind of feed through the middle to the bottom of the ship here. And give me a second and I'll get these all connected, and we'll show you that all lit up. Just real quick, we also have our R2-D2. We're running a fiber optic out of his head, so we'll have a little red light here, and we'll have that connected. He'll be positioned in here, obviously, and you can see where our pilot's at. I'm still working on him in the cockpit. But let's hook up these engine lights and see how it looks. Okay guys, so here is my lighting so far. I think it looks pretty good, pretty happy with it. The wings will be able to open, close, and still stay lit. So that'll be good. Of course, we still have all the painting to do, but really happy with the lighting so far. So let's just keep moving forward. Hey, just going to show you the lighting work coming along with the cockpit of the X-Wing. Right here I've cut out this center, this rectangle part, and I put a piece of clear plastic. It was just a little part off of clear sprue, and it actually has some writing on there, so it actually kind of gives the impression that there's something on the screen. So that's pretty cool. And then it's just lit with a blue LED right behind it. It's just temporary in place with some tape for now, just to kind of get the effect of it. But I really like how it looks on this part, and once we mix in some fiber optics, different color fiber optics, I think that's really going to make that pop out. But I'm really happy with how that blue screen has turned out. As you can see, I drilled some holes into the front here, and that's going to be where I put in, I'm going to put in a red and a yellow LED, and then we'll run the fiber optics out the tube, and then that will go into the dash, and then it will also go into areas in the cockpit that I've cut out, and I'll have some holes in here in different places, so we'll have some different color LEDs, and I might do one more with like a flashing red or something, so we have some something going on inside there, some movement, not just static lights. As you can see, I've repainted the pilot. He's coming along, still maybe a little bit more touch-up work, but looking better than what he did. So that's coming along, and that's where we're at. Okay, so here is the work on the base. I have this plaque, wooden plaque, I guess, from our hobby store. This was a box frame. I had a piece of glass right here that I removed, and you can see I just screwed it in here, and we'll drill holes for where the ship's going to have its wiring and the on and off switch. I have this piece of wood I cut out. This is our battery compartments, 4 AA batteries, so it'll be a 6-volt system, and that will glue this in place, and that'll hold our batteries in position down here. Now, originally I thought about taking some brass tubing and connecting the ship to it, and then this connected in here. But I think what I'm going to do, to make it even simpler, I'm going to use the supplied base that it came with. It already had a slot in part of it that I can run wiring, and I'm going to run it down. I've took my Dremel and kind of made a little hole for the bottom of the base, and then right here, and so we'll attach it onto the base somewhere right in here, probably screw it in position. The wires will run down through here into the battery, into our switch, which will probably be somewhere over here. One of the advantages of this is the ship will be attached kind of semi-permanent, but what will allow me is I'll be able to disconnect the wires from down below and pull the ship off of this display base, because this will hold it into place. It connects pretty well to that, but I'll glue all this together and it'll be all painted. So there's where we're at with our display base. I've started working on the first coat of paint. Just doing a gloss white for right now. I took some really fine sandpaper and started running over it just to start distressing the paint a little bit. I'm going to have to mask off our cockpit area and repaint it. I also have to do this area where you can see I've masked it off because it came in like a dark gray. I'm going to go with more of the gray-blue color that we tend to see. So I'm going to repaint that, and lots of weathering. May seem kind of bright right now, but I think once we get all the weathering and stuff, it's going to darken down, and I think it'll look pretty good. So there's where we're at, and just keep going. Alright, so now I'm getting ready to paint the area around the cockpit the blue color. I did have a dark gray, and as you can see I've painted over it with the white, and now I have it masked off. I'm about to come up with some paint. I'm going to probably use this grayish blue from Vallejo, but I think I'm going to tone it down just a little bit with some white or some light gray or something like that, and I'm going to paint that, and also here where we have the glass that's been taped off and then primed over, we'll paint that. So let me get that done, we'll come back and take a look at it. Okay, so here we are with our blue cockpit now. I'm pretty happy with the color. I think it turned out pretty good. I did use that grayish blue Vallejo mixed in with some medium gray and painted over it. Now I also have added in a clear coat, a matte finish clear coat to protect what I've done. I've painted the cockpit here. It's still taped off because I want to add another. It has a clear coat on it, and I want to wait and do another one, so I need to leave that tape on there for a little bit longer before I put another clear coat, because I don't want to mess up the clear glass, obviously. So there's where we're at with that, and right now it's just looking very new, so a long ways to go, and we're just starting with the little things right now, or doing the little things right now.